One thing that always distinguished your career is this amazing ability to absolutely soak yourself in whatever's turning you on. It's a little bit like being an actor and playing an amazing part, and when you leave the part, a little bit of it stays with you. Do you feel design is a little bit like that for you?
For me, certainly. I mean, I live it, I breathe it, I become that character, but I do discard that character as soon as I'm on to the next thing. It does stay as the distant memory, but I'm on to the next thing very fast.
So who's the real John Galliano?
You're talking to him tonight.
How would you describe yourself now, at this point in your life?
Still very curious, romantic. I think, you know, one really has to understand the past, as I've said before, and really use that as a springboard for the future. And in the past I have been literal and had to be literal, really, to understand. And now one can work in a much more abstracted manner. It's like reading, you know, a fabulous book that you read when you were 18, when you read it when you're 27, and with that little bit more experience of life, you have a different interpretation, a different play on it. So, yeah, one does that in one's design career, I think. You often go back to periods or muses. I often hark back to the 18th century, as you know, and the French Revolution. I don't know why. I find that quite a fascinating time, a violent time. Almost like a common denominator through my career. It reappears, it comes up and resources me. The thing that defines a sense of irony you find in the Galliano collection, that British sense of humour, and of course what I do at Dior is completely respectful to the codes and the tradition and the 10 years of blueprint that Mr. Dior laid down. I think that's what defines the difference between the two collections. I love the whole creative process, and I love finding the solutions to technical challenges. The toiling, the toiling, before you arrive to the final silhouette or the line. And I love, during that process, often there's surprises or accidents which are genius and unexpected and very far removed from that initial two-dimensional sketch. The idea that you started with has turned into something quite different. The bias cutting, for instance, is something that's constantly teaching you something new, depending on the fabric and how you drape it, how it stretches, how it drapes. Each fabric reacts differently, so it's a non-stop learning process with something like that. And there have been many accidents in that we have thought were, maybe 15 years ago, incorrect, but now we're loving. That whole bias cut is part of my signature now. I got great teams that I work with, both at Dior and at Galliano. And you know, a lot of them are like family. They've been with me for like a long time, since I left school. And we're still enjoying it.
It's more like a tribe than a family.
Yeah, you can call it a tribe.
Yeah. And you're the chieftain. Big chief.